Yes, 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 Frankie, my son. You still got it. Yeah.
EastEnders, Friday at 8 on BBC One.
I'll always love you.
Words everybody dreads.
At a bus stop in Eltham 5 years ago, Mrs. Lawrence accused the police of not knowing how to deal with a black family which wasn't involved in crime. They kept trying to prove Stephen was involved in something, and supporters at candlelit vigils were picked out and questioned. Later, Stephen's dad, Neville, said racism and corruption played a part in the investigation, and the Metropolitan Police should be ashamed. At the Elephant and Castle, this is Simon Harris for London Tonight.
2 more Met police officers have been suspended as part of Scotland Yard's biggest ever anti-corruption crackdown. The suspensions follow raids on police homes during the investigation, which was first revealed here on London Tonight. The government has tonight warned a London council to take immediate and profound action to protect children in its care. A report by the Social Services Inspectorate said that unless the culture of hopelessness at Ealing Council was overcome, the consequences for children in care would be catastrophic. Inspectors found that half of the children on the at-risk register in the borough had no social worker. After strikes, delays and signal failures, there was some good news at last for the Underground. It was revealed today that £1 billion is being made available to take the tube into the next century, but it won't stop next week's industrial action.
Better late than never. The package of improvements arriving at a station near you is worth £1 billion. And we're told it means a better, brighter future on the tube.
You're going to see quite a substantial change after 2 years. We have done quite a bit of change in the last 5 years. It will be a continuation of those programmes, but the rate of change will be very noticeable. And sadly, there will be a degree of disruption that goes along with that.
It seems the capital's commuters are crying out for this £1 billion worth of investment. The annual report tells us that the only part of the transport network which comes up to customer satisfaction levels are London's bus stops. So building on the success of their bus stops with £1 billion and the promise of more with private investment under a mayor, transport bosses hope we'll have a lot to be happy about. In fact, the only thing to spoil this tale of joy is an imminent strike. The RMT union believes its members' interests aren't being looked after in plans for the future and are taking action.
I think there may be some confusion, and I find it odd that there should be this confusion, because the Deputy Prime Minister was meticulous in writing to every single employee of London Underground, explaining the principles of the public-private partnership, highlighting the fact that it is not privatisation.
Confusion or not, talks appear to have completely broken down. The 48-hour strike starts Sunday evening. It's likely the tube network will be crippled. This is Richard Gaisford for London Tonight.
More news on the tube. Workers on the much-delayed Jubilee Line extension are being given time off to watch England play their first World Cup match. The project is a year behind schedule, but bosses say Monday's match won't be a problem. Harrods today denied it was planning to erect memorials to Princess Diana and Dodi Al Fayed over its main entrances. There was speculation that the owner, Mohammed Al Fayed, had moved the royal crests on the building to make way for a picture of the couple. But today, Mr. Al Fayed's spokesman said such a tribute would not happen in the foreseeable future.
The fact of the matter is the building belongs to Mr. Al Fayed. If he gets planning permission for something like that at some stage in the future and wants to do it, there's nothing in the world to stop him.
And that's our late news. Good night.
Carlton weather, sponsored by Sea France, Dover-Calais ferries.
Hello again. Well, it's a time like these when I feel I should just remind you I only forecast the weather. It was a dreadful day today. Tomorrow, I promise, will be better. Today's rain gradually clearing away from the south and east. Quite a chilly end to the night with clear spells coming along, temperatures dipping to just 5, and that's only 41 Fahrenheit. Tomorrow morning, bright and cheerful, I think, right across the region. Fairly chilly. We'll still have temperatures struggling up to around 12 or 13 in the morning. But there will be some sunny spells, just 1 or 2 scattered showers around during the afternoon, as you see there. Cloud building up a little bit, but still staying bright, and temperatures tomorrow around 17. That's about 5 degrees higher than it was today. And the winds will be much lighter tomorrow too, so it will feel a big improvement on today. The outlook, though, is still pretty unsettled, so there's no sign of a return to summer yet. Here's a summary.
For a more detailed 5-day outlook, call Weather Update, sponsored by Sea France.
travel update in association with Business Pages.
Hello, good evening. Watch out for delays around Chelmsford tomorrow as thousands of firefighters converge on the town centre in support of those taking industrial action. New roadwork started today on Pentonville Road at the junction with City Road and Islington High Street, so you can expect delays. Looking ahead to Saturday, it's likely to be busy around Battersea Park as a family day and fun run is taking place. And at North Weald Airfield, there's a large country and western festival. To celebrate the Queen's birthday, the Troop in the Colour ceremony takes place at Horse Guards Parade, so expect large crowds in the area. And don't forget, there's a tube strike for 48 hours from Sunday the 14th of June until Tuesday the 16th, and there'll be extra traffic on the roads. That's it from me. Good night.
Travel updates with Business Pages, helping you to work.
After the match, Fantasy World Cup. Badil and Skinner, now on ITV.
They did it for money. I see.
Alô, amigos, eu sou o Jairzinho. Brevemente estarei nesse programa. Fantasia World Cup. Junto desses dois babacas.
What did he say?
For any Peterborough United fans watching, up the posh.
Watch Fantasy World Cup live on ITV, apparently.
Tomorrow at 10:40.
3 lions on a shirt. Jules Rimet still gleams.
World Cup 98 Encore rounds up today's action from France in just a moment.
Some wrong turn that turned out to be.
Something tells me this isn't the Hotel Waikiki. I think we should leave before dinner.
Stay calm. They'll probably just torture us or something.
Rosie? Oh, that was scary.
Yeah, and the follow-up single was even worse.
Peugeot 106, the drive of your life.
Flash Scottish heather. Oh, Scottish heather. I've always loved heather.
Who's Heather?
Scottish heather from Flash. Outdoor freshness in a flash.
Now, Jim Rosenthal is your host for World Cup 98's Encore.
Mum, come on, I'm going to miss a footy, come on. Mum! Oh. Right, that's it.
Good evening. Welcome to our Paris studio for World Cup Encore. Now, the ITV panel have already made a big impression. And joining us tonight, we've got another outstanding trio with vast experience of playing for and managing England at the very highest level. They're Bobby Robson, Terry Venables and John Barnes. Gentlemen, welcome to you all. We're going to get debate, analysis, there's bound to be disagreement too, and the day's best action coming up. OK, here's tonight's agenda. We ask, should Michael Owen be in the starting lineup? He gives us a rare interview. There's added spice from the England camp. We also hear from Steve McManaman and David Beckham. That opening match sparked mayhem from Glasgow to Rio. Scotland beat themselves in the end. We talk to the Bravehearts at the cutting edge. Italy, one of the favourites, have been in action. facing Marcelo Salas, the Chilean who mesmerised England at Wembley. Philippe Troussier, the South African coach, is on his way to Sheffield Wednesday. His team have an immediate appointment with our French hosts. Above all, World Cup Encore is your show. We've had a great response so far. Keep those faxes and emails coming on 00331 5694 0416 or 0417. Email us on our website worldcup@itv.co.uk. And first, the Michael Owen debate. In our preview show on Tuesday, Alex Ferguson said he'd have him on the bench. John Barnes and Kevin Keegan both put him there alongside Alan Shearer from the start. As for Michael Owen himself, well, he tries to keep as low a profile as possible. But Gary Newbond sat down and chatted to the boy wonder in the England camp.
The Atlantic breeze is a permanent feature at England's training ground in La Baule, but the squad's youngest player never seems ruffled. Michael Owen is as calm off the pitch as he is exciting on it.
There he is, his first contribution, and here he goes. He's pulled back there though by Beto, and here's Michael Owen. My goodness, into the side netting. What an introduction.
Michael, quite rightly, everybody says you're a level-headed, very nice young man. How are you able to handle the pressure and publicity so well at the age of 18?
It's just really the way I've been brought up. I've not had any media lessons or anything like that. It's just natural, and that's just the way I've been brought up, I suppose.
And he's found Michael Owen, and here's a chance now for England, for Michael Owen. And it's a goal! Michael Owen puts England ahead.
Michael Owen watched the last World Cup during his school holidays. Just 4 years on, it was his own England debut on a chilly night at Wembley. 4 months later, the teenager's being tipped as one of the stars of this World Cup.
Yeah, it's a possibility that anyone could be a big star, and to think that we were playing in the World Cup 8 years ago and I was watching it as a 10-year-old, and now to be picturing myself hopefully playing against the best players in the world now, it's a frightening thought really, and one that I'm really looking forward to.
Owen's fast-track football education includes big business as a special subject. This visit to a boot manufacturer in Venice, not such a great step for someone who signed their first kit deal at the age of 15. 2 years after that, another Michael Owen signature, sealed, this time a 5-year contract with Liverpool worth £2.5 million. No such charge, of course, for England's adopted fans in France, where even Rio Ferdinand at 19 is older and bigger than Michael Owen.
Yeah, he's a good friend. We've spent a lot of time together throughout the England ranks. He's a year older than me, but we've played a lot we went to Malaysia away with each other, and we've played quite a lot, so it was nice when he got in the squad as well as me, and I knew that I'd have one of my buddies with me.
Sweet words from a striker whose pace will frighten the life out of the opposition. So much so, now Glenn Hoddle is considering starting with Michael Owen. So will England's young cub be his captain's new partner? He will be, and maybe sooner than later.
From the 18-year-old to a couple of senior statesmen, David Beckham, all of 23, and Steve McManaman, comparative veteran, at 26. Now, where does Beckham want to play for England?
I prefer playing in the middle, really. You know, in the centre, I enjoy playing it.
Why?
I think because I get more involved in the game. You know, I've played there, you know, once this season for Man United and a few times for England, and I enjoy it. I get more involved in the game.
Steve, what do you think is your best position?
I don't know really. I mean, just playing really. I mean, people say the floating role, but I haven't played the floating role now for over 12, 14, 16 months really. You know, people say I played in the floating role last year for Liverpool. You know, last year we played with a 4-4-2 last year, and I was predominantly either right midfield or left midfield. So, and people say I had a very good season last year. So I don't think it matters really.
I'm so hyped up and so, you know, got that sort of will to win, that when things don't go right, then, you know, sometimes I do, you know,
go over the top maybe, but a lot of people have said that there's been a problem with that, which I can't see. I've not been suspended once this season for Man United, so people who say that there is a problem there, then they're only picking it every now and again when I do say something to a ref.
Which do you think is the toughest from the spotlight point of view, your situation or Victoria's?
I think they're both different situations. I think the pop world is different from it's getting more like the football world, but I think there's a lot of pressure on both of us because we're always in the public eye. Anywhere we go is always in the papers or on the news. So I think you need someone in your life where you can sit down and chat to. You need a friend, and Victoria's my best friend, really.
Okay, before we have a word with the panel, 1 or 2 emails on that Michael Owen scenario. People who think he should play. Emo Devil. Glenn Hoddle should start with Owen at the front and Shearer as well. Okay, this one from Damien Coughlin. If England have any chance of progressing past the last 16, they must start Michael Owen in the attack alongside Alan Shearer. Owen's pace is a lethal weapon for us. Mark Carter from Preston in Lancashire. Facts there. And one against, making a very good point here. Emo Devil, I think that is again. I think Glenn Hoddle shouldn't start with Owen. Look at Brazil in '94. They had Ronaldo on the bench for the whole World Cup. Owen is good to come on as a substitute. Okay, Bobby Robson, you had Ronaldo with you, didn't you? We're going to talk about him a bit later in the show. But would you start with Michael Owen?
I hope Glenn Hoddle doesn't do any of this and decides what he should do. But I won't sit on the fence. We're playing Tunisia. They're not the greatest of footballing nations. We need to win. We need to win well. We need to get off to a good start. I would play Owen. I saw him come on against Portugal. And in 10 minutes, he did so many things immediately, with a lot of confidence, a lot of pace. And we've got nothing to lose with the boy. Sheringham is a very good player, very experienced, and he's a player that we can also use later on. But against Tunisia, I would start with Owen, because I think the kid will spark very well with Shearer. He's terribly quick. He's dynamic. He's not afraid of 1v1s in front of goal. And I think the kid will score goals.
Okay, Bobby, it's Michael Owen very definitely for you. Terry Venables, where do you stand on this whole debate?
I think it's a very difficult one to talk about because I'll answer the question, but first of all, the coach has got to decide how he wants to play. It's very important, not just how he wants. The whole team is going to play a certain way. Now, in a first game like this, and you may go to 7 games, I think you've got to keep the ball. You've got to make sure you keep the ball. Having that player come in from a little deeper, which I like and maybe prefer, and I know from what Bobby said, he surprised me a little because I know he likes that too. If you've got that deeper guy, you've got layers of players to play a short passing game and keep the ball. If you play 2 all the way up there, and we've seen it on occasions, that they're inclined to get a little bit isolated, your game's got to be a little bit longer, therefore you might give it away. And you might say, well, you're going to play Teddy Sheringham with Shearer, or you're going to play him with Owen. Well, you think, oh, we can't do without Shearer. So you'd be happy with any of those 3 players, and I prefer to start off with someone playing a little deeper. So I would go for Sheringham.
This despite what's happened to Sheringham over the last week or so?
I don't think it's got anything to do with it because it's over.
Would you have handled that in the same way, Terry, do you think?
Gascoigne's out, Sheringham's in, it's forgotten, so it's forgotten. It's no good saying you're in and I'm going to still keep thinking about it. You've got to either go with it or you're not. We're now in a World Cup. Those issues have got to be forgotten. Lots of people are waiting for the responsibility to be shown from everyone, and we've got to go forward now.
Okay, we spoke to John about Gaza the other night. We haven't heard your 2 views. I just want briefly from the 2 of you, are you sad that Gascoigne isn't with England? Bobby?
I'm very sad. I mean, I had him at his best. 6 years later, he played with Terry. Maybe not quite at his best, but still a very good player. It's 2 years on now with Glenn Hoddle, so Glenn obviously sees a different situation. But the boy is a terrific option. And we're not talking about taking 14 players to Italy, taking 14 players to Spain, to France.
That's where we are, Bobby, you're right, you're right.
To France.
Yeah.
Or 16 players, we're talking about taking 22.
Absolutely.
and there's space for him. He can create things, he can come on in a very difficult game with a lot of confidence, you know, and a lot of optimism. He can dribble, and you've seen already in this tournament what great dribblers can do to a game of football. And however great Patrick Gascoigne is, he's also, Terry, isn't he? He's a great dribbler, and you need dribblers, and he can do that.
Just quickly, Terry, would you have taken Gascoigne?
Yes, that's quickly.
That's quick enough. John Barnes. Hiya, John. We heard David Beckham there wondering about his best position. Is he best in the middle, in your view, or wide out there on the right?
I think his best work would be done out wide. As he said, he played very well in the tournoi in the middle, but I think he should play wide, because I think in the World Cup, the two central midfield players have to be very disciplined, and I'm not particularly defensive, but they have to be very disciplined in that role. And I think to get the best out of Beckham, in terms of him shooting, crossing, getting forward, I think he had to play not necessarily standing out wide, more an inside right to outside right, as opposed to really out wide, because he does want to get involved, he does want to get the ball, he does want to be the main player, the playmaker. But I think from the central position, it would require too much discipline from him, and we really want to see him going forward. So I would play him out wide.
Just finally from you, Terry, Michael Owen comes across there as a very, very level-headed young guy.
He's outstanding. I mean, there's not a shadow of a doubt this boy is going to be... something's got to happen where he's not going to be maybe one of the best strikers we've ever seen. I think he is terrific.
And you would expect him to have some sort of...
It's a squad game we're talking about a while. This, you know, we're going to start with Tunisia. Let's see where it takes us.
Okay.
And Jimmy, I would say what John said about Beckham. I mean, Beckham is a fantastic crosser of a ball, you know, from any distance from the byline, whether he's 30 yards out or 15 yards or 10. He can just eliminate the keeper, get the ball in behind defenders. And we need that sort of service, you know, with Shearer and Owen, and obviously Sheringham as well.
Okay, thanks all for the moment. Right, now let's turn our attention to Scotland. Really high praise for them here today on the back of that opening match. An excellent birth, one headline called it. The eyes and emotions, though, of a global audience were focused on the Stade de France.
Everything comes second to football in Brazil. The streets of Rio and Sao Paulo empty as kick-off approaches. Down come the shutters. The stock exchange closes too. The same story in Scotland. There's massive expectation, then deflation. The world champions and their commentators on an immediate high.
Por lá, Júnior Baiano, também Giovanni, também Rivaldo, comando fechado. Gol! César Sampaio!
A scruffy goal. No Brazilian brilliance there, but out of nothing, there's hope.
4 forward again for Scotland. Jury jumping. Gallagher trying to get there, seems to be impeded by César Sampaio. It's called a penalty.
Brazil's prayers are answered.
Cafu partiu lá na direita. O lançamento do Dunga para Cafu. Botou na frente, olha o Cafu, tocou, soltou o goleiro, vai entrar. Gol! É do Brasil!
He speaked early. So, Scotland the brave, but sadly pointless. And now everything could well hinge on that Norway game in Bordeaux next Tuesday, I should say. Gabriel Clarke has been with the Scots as they regrouped for their next challenge.
For an opening match, it was as colourful and captivating as any in recent history. But once again, the words Scotland, gallant and failure would be mentioned in the same World Cup breath. Once again, fortune didn't favour the brave.
At the end of the day, who cares? We didn't expect a result. We got beat, but the two crucial games are coming up.
Scotland's real consolation prize greeted them on their return to Provence. The news that Norway had failed to beat Morocco. A result that underlines just how tight Group A might just be for that second qualifying place, and a result that went some way to softening the blow of just how close Scotland were to being joint top of the world for a few days at least.
could have been so much better for Scotland.
Technically, and in some aspects, Brazil were better than we were. We didn't deserve to lose that match, and we feel therefore desperately disappointed. We conceded a corner softly, and I always sense that when you give away a corner unnecessarily, you're liable to be punished, and we were punished, and from our point of view it was a bad goal to lose.
Opportunity knocks for John Collins. He scored! Scotland are on terms with the world champions.
I have confidence in him because he's a quality football player, so I'm just delighted to hit the back of the net with it.
I feel sorry for Tom Boyd because no way could you fault him for the goal. It was a piece of good fortune for Brazil, which they celebrated in some style, which indicated how relieved they were to get the goal. No, both teams are still around us now, and if we managed to beat them both, we would qualify. Maybe winning one and drawing one would do, but we have to, I think, be sure that we try our utmost to take maximum points from Norway.
There are those who will feel Scotland have missed a real chance of running Brazil down a blind alley, but that's gone now. Craig Brown's team might be bottom of their group, but in a strange yet typical paradox, Scotland's morale is perhaps even stronger now than it was before they opened the 16th World Cup.
We win as a team and we lose as a team, and there's a collective responsibility there, and all the players feel very disappointed, but no one is despondent in our camp. Everyone is upbeat. And I can assure you, you'll see that renewed determination next Tuesday.
We will indeed. John, what are your thoughts now about Scotland and the World Cup?
Well, I mean, it was an excellent performance. You know, they ruffled Brazil. Brazil didn't create too many chances. They created a few chances themselves. And they're capable of beating both Morocco and Norway. I think now that they've got the Brazil game out of the way, and they can get confidence even from that defeat, they can possibly be a little bit more adventurous, maybe in the way they play or even the team they pick. But I think Scotland they've got it in them to do well and to beat both Morocco and Norway.
Terry, Craig Brown is a class act there.
I like him very much. I got on very, very well with him before. And you just had to feel from them. They couldn't have had a worse start. I mean, the whole place fell in and they just couldn't believe it. And then it looked like there was going to be 2 or 3 more. And you felt Brazil was thinking there's going to be 2 or 3 more, and they got round it. And then they said, look, come on, we've got together, and it was looking good for them. And I felt Brazil was nearly on a good game. I don't think they was quite on a good game, but the crying shame of everything, even if you have to lose a game like that, is the way the ball went in the net, of course.
Yeah. It's a game we're really looking forward to seeing it live on ITV next Tuesday, that one, Bobby. But you went to the game, and from a Scottish perspective, it's definitely not all over for them, because they'd have expected nothing there.
They
really,
gave a very encouraging performance. I was really pleased for them, and they battled hard, and Craig said he didn't think that they deserved to lose. I thought they did. I thought Brazil were the better side because they've made better chances. But you have to admit, you see, that they've lost only 2-1, one with a corner, goal with a corner, and an own goal against arguably the best team in the world. So they're not far away, they're not far adrift.
Best team in the world with the man who's been voted the best player in the world, Ronaldo, a man who you have been very, very closely associated with.
Yeah, terrific kid. I think he'll prove at the end of this tournament that he is the best player in the world. He's the most exciting player. Great dribbler, feigns, double feigns, takes people on, strong on the ball, got a great body about himself, knows when to shoot, and in the course of dribbling, knows when to pass the ball as well.
Makes chances for others.
Look at this, look at this. Watch this. And Leonardo here doesn't quite hit a good shot, but I mean, he set the play up beautifully for Leonardo to have the shot at goal. And as he's doing these dribbles, he knows where other people are, and that's a clever player.
What do you make of the Brazilians? That they've got a guy in the middle of the field, Dunga, who lifted the World Cup last year, who gets very, very little praise, and when he gets it, it's pretty grudging, John, isn't it?
Well, apart from Ronaldo, I think he is the most important person in the Brazilian squad. He makes them tick. He creates this goal, the winning goal, but he wants the ball all the time. And he got very frustrated in this match because they weren't giving him the ball. And as you can see, that's a great ball he puts in for Cafu. But Dunga is the one who makes Brazil tick. Ronaldo may be the one who finishes it, but Dunga is always the focal point. The ball always comes back to him, and he sets everything up. Probably wouldn't have got in the Brazil teams of past. In fact, I'm sure he wouldn't have got in the 86 or 82 team because of the type of player he is. But he's a winner, and he got very frustrated. That's good, full credit to Scotland, because he was ranting and raving all game because they weren't doing what he wanted them to do.
Terry, do you reckon that celebration that we saw there is symptomatic of the relief that Brazil felt about getting past Scotland?
Well, I'll be very disappointed if they didn't celebrate. I mean, have you ever seen, whenever I've seen Brazil play, it doesn't matter how many goals they score, they celebrate very well, and they practice a lot.
You've got to be a strange sort of animal to choose to play in goal in Brazil. They got this guy Tafarel who's getting near to 100 caps. Again, gets lots of criticism.
Please say near to 100.
But they don't lose many when he's there, do they?
Well, I spoke to Zagallo in Saudi Arabia. He was in a tournament, and he was very, very interested. He was worried about 3 positions. I think the goalkeeping position was one of them. And he has tried to do without him. He's been looking at other goalkeepers, and he's not been pleased with him, so he's brought him back. At least he knows what he can do. He's got the experience. He's been there before. So, you know, safety.
Yeah, we're also live on ITV with Brazil next Tuesday. Terry, just briefly from you, do you think the Brazilians are just sort of finding the gears at the moment and will be there at the end?
Yeah, they've played together for such a long time, you know, and we expect so much from them, and quite rightly, because especially if you're unbiased, everyone that's not supporting someone wants Brazil to win, because they're beautiful for the game. It's how everyone wants to play the game. But I think as it unwraps, as I've already said, I thought they maybe played a little bit more cagey, but starting the way they did, of course, but I thought they nearly played well. I thought Bobby's right, there were some good flashes, but I didn't think they were quite what we expect.
OK, thank you for the moment. Still to come on Encore, the very best action from day 2 of France 98. Italy's aim to win Group B and avoid Brazil in the next round. Their Chilean opponents, they've got the same idea. It really is a great match, and it's coming up next.
I'm sure I dropped my car keys around here somewhere. Ooh, I found the wine gum.
So, what do you want to do, young man?
I want to play for the biggest club in the world.
Man United.
Big clubs don't sign 14-year-olds. And I suppose you'll score on your debut? Players don't score from their own half. What about the army, the police force? Teaching is a good career.
When we design our high-performance aircraft, the starting point is the pilot. First, we give him a seat that allows him to feel every movement of the aircraft. We design a cockpit that puts everything instinctively at his fingertips. Then we place him as close to the center of gravity as possible. Finally, we surround him with a strong aerodynamic body. Exactly the same way as we build our cars.
Choosing the right mortgage these days can be confusing. Fortunately, there is a name on the high street you know you can trust to make it easy. So for a great deal on a fixed-rate mortgage, everything points to the Halifax.
You've done that. You've earned money back. So what do you do now? The new blue card from American Express. It pays you to do more.
You know what they say, if you can sell ice to an Eskimo. Now, Starburst fruit ice is totally different. First, you'll experience its soft fruit shell. Next comes the refreshing fruit sorbet. And now get ready for the real burst. Real pieces of fruit. This is bigger than we thought. New Starburst fruit ice. So fruity you won't believe your ice.
My buddies and me, you're getting real well known. Yeah, the bad guys know us and they leave us alone. I get around, round, 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 I get around.
With a BT charge card, calls are charged to your phone bill. All our usual discounts apply, saving you up to 35% on the calls you make with it while you're out and about.
played really well this season, so we have decided to give you a courser. Thank you.
And hello once again from Paris. Well, Italy and Chile both took the long, hard road to the finals. The Italians were pushed into the playoffs by England. Chile, who beat England at Wembley in February, took 16 games, and then they only scraped through above Peru on goal difference. They're here now, though, meeting in saturated Bordeaux. Italy, with Pagliuca replacing the injured and absent Peruzzi in goal, skippered by Maldini. Roberto Baggio starting, Del Piero unfit, and watch out for Chelsea's Di Matteo playing down the left. Chile go with their Zaza strike force, Zamorano and Salas. 23 goals between them in qualifying. Your commentators are Kevin Keegan and...
A goal inside 10 minutes from Christian Vieri. And who made it? Yes, the hero of 94, Roberto Baggio.
He's only 24 years of age. He's not experienced at this level, really. But doesn't he finish it well? Just pass it into the net. Great lesson for young strikers.
Why Lazio will pay £15 million for his services for next season. Half-time here, it's Italy 1, Chile 1.
Baggio, we've got
Luigi Di Biagio.
Yeah, that's why I was dreading it. I can't say it. I'm back home.
This is Najenka. And he's being invited to go a long way here. Still Najenka. He's gone right through and scores! Oh, what a goal from Pierre Najenka. That's right up there with Hadji's goal for Morocco on the opening night. The Austrian defence in total disarray. But he still had to show great composure in front of goal. One of the few members of the squad to play his club football back home in Cameroon, Pierre Najenka, and that's a goal to treasure. We're into stoppage time. Firesinga with the corner. Headed on by Pfeffer, it's Tony Polster, yes! Austria's record goal scorer has surely saved the game for his country. Woeful defending in truth by Cameroon, fully punished by Tony Polster.
Peter Brackley, your commentator there, and there is Group B, dead level. A good email from John Barth from Teignmouth in Devon. What happens if all the group matches, each team in the group has exactly the same number of points, exactly the same number of goals for and against? Okay, this is what happens. There we go. It's decided on the number of points, goal difference, number of goals scored, the score of the matches between the teams, and if all that is equal, they'll draw lots. Obviously, that Roberto... Yeah, that comes later, I think. That Roberto Baggio goal has really got you all at it back home. A couple of facts have reached us. Del Spooner from South London. In your opinion, this is Del, Roberto Baggio has just got away with blatant cheating, a totally undeserved penalty. Adrian Spragg, Reading in Berkshire. Should Roberto Baggio in Italy have been awarded that penalty? Surely it depends on whether Chile gained an advantage. Johnny Barnes, it's all yours.
Never a penalty. I mean, the only advantage they gained was by getting people around the ball and defending properly. Baggio did well to win the ball here, but, you know, the defender, he's got his arms down by his side, didn't move his arm at all. No way. And if you look at Baggio's reaction after this, you're not going to see it here, but Baggio's reaction after the penalty was given, he turned around and he looked as if he couldn't believe the penalty was given. I don't know whether he actually meant to hit him on the arm, but it was never a penalty.
I think he meant it. It was
you
not,
think he aimed for his arm?
Without a shadow of a doubt. I don't think he was chipping it anywhere. It never looked like he was trying to cross it. It just, if you put your hands down, which all defenders do there, it's very easy to just clip it up.
Bobby?
Not a penalty. I think the player was very unlucky. A lot of referees would never have given that. And the player had no chance to avoid the ball striking his hand, and the law clearly states, doesn't it, that it's the hand playing the ball and not the ball playing the hand and so forth. So
ball to hand.
I mean, the tricky one from these facts is that the inference and emails is quite clear. There's a very strong feeling that if it had been the other way round, Chile might not have got a penalty.
Well, what are you saying?
I'm saying there's a very strong feeling if it the other way round, Chile might not have got the penalty.
I think it's just a bad mistake by the referee. I don't think it's because it was against Chile. I just think it was a bad mistake by the referee, and I think if he could have had 5 seconds to compose himself and think before he blew his whistle, he wouldn't have blown his whistle.
And the Italians in general, Terry?
I think they've got 1 or 2 problem areas. I think up front, Roberto Baggio, I thought was, you know, that side was outstanding today. Maybe delivered one of the best passes we may, or cleverest passes we may see in the whole of this tournament. Thought it was quite superb. Up front, it's still trying hard to find him a partner. They've not quite got it together. The goalkeeper doesn't look happy, and I think they've got 1 or 2 problems.
Chile, you've got to feel a bit sorry for them that they haven't won a game in the World Cup since back in 1962, but they've got this wonderful player, Salas. Now, he's 5'6", I think, Bobby, and he's got no right to win headers the way he does.
Well, he's a bit maybe taller than 5'6", but he jumps well. We're just talking about players of comparison, a little speedy at Chelsea, and Kevin Keegan, the wonderful header, get you out of trouble. Great goal.
He's not just got above him, he's put it where he wants to put it.
Yes.
I mean, that is the terrific skill of it. All the things that Bob says is absolutely correct. Shorten him, got up early. Pele, we've seen a few times already on this trip. It was a great header of the ball. Wasn't a big guy?
Yeah, I think when he first scored, I thought it was Zamorano, because although Zamorano himself isn't the biggest, but he's notorious for being good in the air, and he won a lot of headers against. In fact, he created the first goal for Salas. Goal, yeah. So when he scored, I thought it was actually Zamorano. So I was surprised to see that it was Salas. He's probably learning from him.
Yeah. Well, according to our records, he is 5'6". Okay. We've seen the holders. We've seen the runners-up at USA 94. Tomorrow, live on ITV, it's Enter the Hosts. France, led by Zinedine Zidane against South Africa in Marseille. The French hoping to convince their hypercritical supporters they're good enough to go all the way.
Nobody's going to break into my car, not with this new car alarm.
This is Belgium. The roads are straight, the rivers are straight, even the corners are straight. Morning. Do you know what this is? Look, it turns and everything.
Oh, yeah.
I showed Jan what corners were in my Vectra SRI with its stiffened and lowered suspension. Now it's Jan's turn.
The Vauxhall Vectra SRI for the corners of the earth.
Balbon, what is this?
Do not be fooled by its innocent exterior, for inside the mega truffle one encounters an exquisite experience that verges on the scandalous. A luxurious chocolate truffle nestling seductively at the heart of creamy vanilla ice cream. The delirium of pleasure received in its devouring is quite unprecedented.
Oh, stop, your mega truffle is wicked.
Yes, it is rather good, isn't it?
Put my money on the stock market without any risk of losing it. You can't be serious, I said. We're deadly serious, they said.
Change the way you save. For the Advanced Savings Account Pack, call 0800 626262.
You can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. But if you try sometimes, well, you might find you get what you need.
Come on! Pump! Pump! Flies! Isotonic Lucozade sport drinks are designed for top athletes. They get energy to the muscles fast. Tests show they improve sport and performance by increasing their stamina. Tomorrow, endurance training. Lucozade Sport. Dedicated to sport.
The Times, now 30p weekdays.
Oi, come back here! I said it was a tigra, not a tiger!
And hello again from Paris. When the host nation kicks off its challenge tomorrow, every Frenchman in the land will be praying for Zinedine Zidane to deliver. Every Frenchman, that is, except one. The South African coach, Philippe Troussier, who hails from Paris, and he's been confirmed as the new boss of Sheffield Wednesday. This report from Tony Francis.
This is the story of two Frenchmen who came out of Africa. Philippe Troussier, big pal of Arsène Wenger, 8 years in the heat and dust. And Zinedine Zidane, otherwise known as God. Family moved from Algeria to settle in Marseille. France eternally grateful. Tomorrow they meet.
It was a great advantage for us to open the tournament against France. And we are very optimistic about this first game.
Le plus important, c'était la victoire, c'était gagner 1-0, même si le match n'était pas beau.
Troussier soon to be the manager of Sheffield Wednesday. A surprising oasis after Morocco, Burkina Faso, Nigeria, the Ivory Coast, sacked for calling the football president a blockhead, Kaiser Chiefs from Soweto, forced out by a players' revolt, and now Bafana Bafana, the boys from South Africa, where he's been in charge for precisely 5 weeks.
They keep in touch with Arsène Wenger about who is Mr. Troussier, what is his potential. I know from the official member of Sheffield Wednesday, Arsène Wenger was very important.
South Africa are based in Vichy, the town where Troussier and Wenger won their coaching badges together, where the Wednesday chairman drove down to see him this week. With Nelson Mandela sending goodwill messages faster than some people send postcards, and the coach urging them to be happy, Bafana Bafana aren't getting screwed up about the greatest thing ever to come out of Algiers. Zidane's mum and dad christened him Zinedine because it's Arabic for the beauty of God. Now, if that was a cross for a shy introvert to carry through life, it's even harder now that France believes he is the Messiah. As for Troussier, he's cool.
We don't have special plans against Zinedine. We know from South Africa, France is a very strong team, and we need to have an ice, not only for Zidane, we need to have an ice for everybody.
Jouer avec le maillot de l'équipe nationale à Marseille, là où je suis né, devant ma famille, mes amis. Je peux pas mieux espérer pour un premier match, pour un match d'ouverture, enfin pas d'ouverture, mais pour notre premier match de Coupe du Monde, c'est fabuleux.
The Brazilians are full of beans. The Moroccans are mad for it. And even defeat won't dampen Scottish enthusiasm. But like so many parties, while the guests have a whale of a time, the hosts are fretting. On the streets of Paris, few think the French can win the trophy.
Never.
Why not?
Because we have a stupid manager.
It was a good team. In 1982 and 1986 it was great teams, but now I don't know.
They are bad, very bad.
At the offices of L'Équipe, the nation's influential sporting daily, they say the fans are right to worry.
They fear to see what they saw during the European Championship, very defensive football, and they don't like it because it's not the French spirit, the French soul, the French heart to see a defensive team scoring no little goals, one this, one there. That's not enough for the French people.
With the supporters so sceptical, the players have been forced to appeal publicly for patience. They urgently need the lift only the fans' respect can inspire.
Vous êtes des nuls.
Merci.
The players feel deeply in themselves that they lack something to start the competition, and what they lack is this little light, this little sparkle that will help them to play good soccer during the World Cup.
Generations brought up on the genius of Platini and that marvellous midfield of the 80s are bound to be hard to please.
Only a stylish success would satisfy.
We're not going to think differently unless the French team proves to us on the field that they're capable to play the kind of football that everybody's waiting for.
Few doubts then, how far are the French going to go? Bobby Robson.
Have a bit more faith in the French team than the French have. I think the last 8. I think if they can find a goal scorer, maybe Grivage can do it. If they can find that sort of player to take the chances which they will create, they'll go to the last 8.
Terry?
I think they've got the best individuals maybe in the tournament quarterfinals.
I think if they put Jorkaeff along